all in here? I don't see you in Zencaster. I had to the Trello. Yeah, the Trello. Yeah, I had to. I had to archive it all because Trello was like, "Listen, I can't load the board. You got too much shit on here." Yeah. What? Oh. Well, and I'm worried about. I don't hear it. I don't hear it. Oh, that's because I have that. How about now? Now you're good, right? That was I had the stream going. Yeah, good call. Let me tweet this little nugget out. See if I can fit both. God damn it! What just happened? Kaboom. I hate Twitter and its 140 character limit. Alright. Alright. Can I fit in the URL for PHPUgly? Let's see here. No. Negative. Oh well, that's fine. Alright, tweet that out. Alright. Yay, 360. Okay, are we all in Zencaster? Yeah, gonna start recording. Are we ready to go? Alright. I guess I should get my Trello board open as well. Really? Can you? Neat. Alright. Okay. Let's rock and roll here. Alright, gonna start recording the Zencaster. Alright, backup recording. Start recording now. Clap check. 3, 2, 1. Is there a reason I'm the only one that clap checked that time? Oh shit, why am I not hearing you, buddy? Oh, hold on 1 second. Something is wrong. Alright. Talk again? Nope. Do not have you. Alright, hold on 1 second.
Who's doing dishes?
There you go.
My wife.
Right.
Check 1 2.
Alright, that's me. I had my my headset didn't pick up when I started recording. I don't know why. Alright, let me try that again. Right. There we go. That's better. Now, can I get somebody to talk? Perfect. Okay, clap check. 3, 2. I know, but we gotta do it again because my recording didn't go. 3, 2, 1. Thank you. Shouldn't be a problem. We have Zencastr to the rescue. Alright. Alright. Are we ready to go? Coming back at you like the bell-bottom fashion statement of 1970, it's PHPUgly episode 70. Coincidence? I think not. John and Tom. You know, I was gonna work. I had a whole T-70 story. So the T-70s were the Terminators, the first Terminators. They were like the foot soldiers that had the humanoid shape that were designed to kill the humans. And I was gonna do a whole, destroying your life like a T-70 lead-in, but I don't know. It just took too much effort. So I just went with bell bottoms. It just seemed like an easier sell. I was very impressed. Hey, listen, you did this, the sound effect. Wow, that was perfect. I liked it. I liked it a lot. How is everybody doing? Oh, I got a fan I need to turn off. You guys even tell me I have my fan going. Yeah. Yes, happy to be home. Alright. So let me get a little bit into my backstory, because I had some people approach me about why I got fired from PHPUgly and what the story was behind that. So let's backtrack a little bit and bring everybody up to speed. You just need a good-looking face? Oh, yeah. Uh-huh. Alright, listen. So, as many people know, especially regular listeners of the show, John, Tom, my close friends are well aware, my father suffered a stroke a few years back. He was never really able to recover from the stroke. His health had been diminishing for the 3 years. That's why there were a lot of times where I was doing podcasts from Arizona, or I was constantly going out to Arizona. That's where he lives, helping care for him. My mom and sister cared for him fantastically for the 3 years. Unfortunately, a few weeks back, his health started to diminish more. We packed up the family. We went out to Arizona. We stayed out there for a while. We stayed with him. It was actually a fantastic experience. My kids got to speak with him. He was very conscious and understood who everybody was. I mentioned before dementia had been setting in. But he was aware of who my children were, who we were, that he was able to have conversations with them. And a few days after that, he passed away. So it's, it's been tough, a lot of internal things going on, very personal pain. It's one of those things a lot of people go through. I wasn't, it's this weird sensation I have because I'm not dependent on my father. I don't work for my father. I actually don't go to him for advice. I hadn't gone to him for advice in a very long time. But I love him. He was a good man. My father, I mentioned in the past, worked for the NSA. And he worked for the NSA back in the 60s, 70s, and 80s when it was a very secretive organization. So my dad never shared with me what he did for a living. It was very I never had that piece of my dad's life. His professional life was separate from family life. And it was kind of a good thing because when he came home, he was home. He never brought work home with him. He couldn't. He never spoke about work, anything. And that's where my connection with my dad and baseball really thrived, because when he was home, the one thing we did was play baseball a lot. My dad was a fantastic person. I'm going to miss him deeply. And, it hurts. I appreciate everybody who's reached out to me with their prayers, well-wishing thoughts, all that stuff. It's meant a lot to me and my family. And so, yeah. So I've had a leave of absence, not only from PHPUgly, I've had a leave of absence from LairChat Live because of this. And it was tough because when my father passed, it was only a few days after that I had to head to New York to Laricon. And I was personally not. I was going to pull out. I talked to John about it. John was fine with me pulling out. He was going to represent and all that. So, but my mother and my sister they were very insistent that, it was what my father would have wanted. Because of my dad's condition and how slow he, diminished, everything was taken care of ahead of time. When he passed, there wasn't anything we had to do. My mom already handling the bills, everything about the handling of his physical body had already been arranged. So I went to Laricon. Whether it was a good decision or not, I don't know. I went with my wife. It was a planned trip. We actually left early. We left the weekend before. The time I spent there with my wife was very therapeutic. We had a great time. I was very subconscious about how good of a time I was having. The time I actually spent at Laricon was tougher. There was a lot of new faces, a lot of conversations, and I struggled through that. After the first day, I kind of told John I didn't think I was going to go back the second day. Again, he was very understanding and accommodating. I decided, I'm going to go back. I really wanted to go back, and so I did go back. I did feel bad. Like, I know the LairChat guys came out, Sean and Matt came out from Canada, and there were a lot of things they wanted to do before and after the conference, and I just wasn't in a good space for it. And so I kind of ended up blowing them off. John and I actually didn't hang out. I mean, he had his family out there as well. I met them for lunch one day, and I think that's the only time we hung out. But it was good. So appreciate everybody who again, this hasn't been a secret. I made mention of it on Twitter. Appreciate everybody who reached out to me. If you didn't know, don't feel bad. If I acted a little weird at Laricon, that's probably why. But yeah, so that's catching everybody up. So I wasn't fired from PHPUgly as a couple of people have asked me about. I can't be fired. It's my show, and nobody gets paid. So. We did, yeah. Oh, I think we all contributed. Yeah. But we're back. So the idea is we'll get back on our schedule. We're recording early this week because we hadn't recorded. John, Tom, you guys did a fantastic show. The one show I missed, I thought it was weird. It was great listening to you guys and knowing that, I wasn't a part of it, but it was good. Yeah. Well, you edited it well. I popped on briefly. As soon as I logged on, I heard Thomas say, we have so many people watching. I wonder if any of them are Eric. I'm like, yeah, no, not me. and then I dropped off a little time afterwards. So it was funny to hear that you kind of caught that. I talk a lot. I know. So what's everybody been up to? I mean, I know what John and I have been up to. Thomas, before John and I get into our rants, what have you been up to? Uh-oh. Why? Okay, well, you're going for a cert. Interesting. Is this a course you're paying for? Are you paying for this course? There's plenty of it. Yeah. You could be the mooch. The mooch hasn't had a job for like what, 10 days? Oh really? Oh really? Communication. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I sure did. All right. Well, like I mentioned, no, we're gonna move on. Who understands it? Is this related to that incident that we talked about some weeks back? Okay. Okay, so Bitcoin Cash. When you say it was the failure to fork, what do you mean by that? Okay. Yeah. So all I know is Coinbase is not recognizing Bitcoin Cash. Or I can't do anything with Bitcoin Cash. I need a. Okay, I just played a sound effects. That was the end of cryptocurrency talk. You had your 4 minutes. There. That works. Anybody interested in listening to this podcast? I am doing a live stream, a 360 live stream of our live stream. It's a whole meta thing. If you go to go to my Twitter feed, you'll find it in there. Showcom, SHOCM, and you'll find it in there. That's right. That's right. It's a 360 view. You can look all around my naked body. So, all right. So John and I, we were in New York City last week for Laracon. John's first Laracon. John, first impressions. Mm-hmm. All right, so I've got to tell you, quite honestly, no, I thought about this so long whether or not I wanted to try to be PC on this and try to like walk that line and not offend anybody, but I have a feeling that's not going to work because I'm going to offend people. So let's start first with the facility. It was held in this theater on in New York City. It was a theater for plays and stuff. It was not designed to host 500 geeks for 8 hours at a time. I mean, it wasn't comfortable at all. And the way the seats were arranged, the middle section of the theater was what you would expect in a theater. It was this long row of seats that. So first off, I'm a large individual. I'm tall. I'm about 6'4", 6'5", and I'm large. I'm 350 plus. I wasn't fitting in these seats. We ended up moving to the front row. Now I was there with Sean from Lair Chat. He's taller than I am. He has to be pushing. What do you think, John? 6'7"? He's taller than I am. We had to move to the front row just so that we could sit with some, so we could sit. Like, we tried sitting in one of the rows and there was just no room. It was horrible. But that aside, again, you have all these guys trying to work on their laptop, no power anywhere, all trying to work on their laptop, barely elbow room. Marcus Moore was there. He's a member of the San Diego Laravel group. He's more of an average size individual, maybe a little shorter than the average man, very thin, and he was uncomfortable in these seats. The seats that were in the middle, like I said, long rows of seats. So if anybody wanted to get up, that entire row had to get up. There was just no way around it. You couldn't step around people. You just couldn't. So that was, yeah. Yeah. Right. And then Right. And again, if you went to the science fair, right, and if you went to the science fair and you saw like one talk, first thing, the science fair was a fantastic idea. I think they need to expand on that a little bit more. I don't know how many talks went of the science fair because, like John said, you didn't know what the person on the main stage was talking about, and if you ended up going to the science fair, now I guess you could have. I guess they went through a lot of the talks on Laravel News podcast, but you're there at the conference. I want to be able to pull up something and read it. I don't want to have to listen to a dozen podcasts the week before to understand what everybody's talking about. It should have been written out somewhere. There should have been a program. But if you went to if you went to the science fair, maybe you saw one talk that you want to see in the science fair. You couldn't get back in the main auditorium because there was just no way to maneuver around people. There's no way to get to a seat. It was very uncomfortable. And then, I'm going to expand a little bit more on this because I have been on record for years now talking about how much I love this conference, how much I love the single track. But I got to be honest. First thing, the talks were, There were a couple of really good ones from people that you would expect. Adam Wathen gave a great talk. I did a friend of the show, Adam Wathen. But there were a lot of talks that were just kind of like people talking about their project. And I'm like, okay, that could have been over in the science fair. Why are you up here? So there was like no structure to the conference itself. It wasn't focused on business. Like hey, are you trying to start a business with Laravel development? Let's focus on that. It wasn't focused on community. Matter of fact, not only was it not focused on community, there was no mention of community, which I'm a big community person. Irritated me to no end. Taylor never stepped up. Taylor never really even gave a state of the Laravel address. Like he did his fight. Right, he did his 5.5 talk, and he talked a little bit about how it's the most downloaded project on GitHub, but there was no juice. There was no information. There was no, hey, this is where we're going. This is what we're doing. It wasn't there. And there was there wasn't that structure in the conference. It just seemed like these random talks of people who wanted to talk about stuff, and they were in the know with the Laravel elite inner circle to get a talk. But there was nothing like as a community person, there was nothing there for me. As a business person, there was nothing there for me. The talks were weak. I mean, I hesitate to say that because I know how hard it is to give those talks, but there was nothing to them. Most of them were a lot of them were just talking about their project and what they've done with Laravel, but not really giving it any structure on, hey, these are the challenges we face. These are the tools and how we implemented them. It was tough, man. I was pretty disappointed. Gotta be honest. Mm-hmm. Yeah. You know, yeah. It's tough. It was tough. Again, I was there with the Layer Chat guys. Yeah, they were trying to make a pretty big presence. They've long tried to. They have the Layer Chat Slack channel, and they've long tried to be the community hub for Laravel, and they get zero, almost no recognition. I mean, at least last year, Taylor mentioned Laravel Slack, and I mean, just him mentioning it had this huge spike in people logging into the Slack channel. There was no mention of any of the community efforts, no user group efforts, no Laravel chat efforts, nothing. He didn't. There was zero mention of any of that from anybody on any level, and it. So John just pointed out we never started broadcasting our stream. When did you? Should I start it, or should we just not start it? Ah, fuck it. I'm starting it. Hey, welcome to PHPUgly. Where are you mentioning this in Slack? I mean, you mentioned it to me, but where else are you mentioning it? Oh, 2 to 6, we are off air. Oh. Because I just asked you a question. You know what I thought that was saying? I thought you fat fingered that, and you were saying when we're off air. I thought that's what you were saying. When we're off air. I'm like, no, that's why I'm asking you in Slack. Do you want to talk about this now or not? Oh my gosh. Why do you keep saying when we're off air? We're always off air. We talked about it. I know that. Oh, man. Okay. All right. That was Laracon. For better or for worse, Nobody from Colorado, John? No? No, it's not like you that much. Yeah, it was a good time. I was gonna steal your kid, man. I was ready to take your kid and take a nap. Kid was liking me, so and I will. All right, so before we wrap up with Laracon, let me just say it was fantastic meeting people there. I got to meet so many people that I've talked to over the last year. It was awesome. I mean, people were just like what's the guy's name? Ryan Thompson, the guy who does Pyro C, friend of the show, Ryan Thompson. We interviewed him on Lara Chat. He's the guy who's doing Pyro CMS now. He's the guy who ported it over to Laravel. I wasn't there 5 minutes. Guy walks up to me. Hey, dude, good to see you. I'm like, holy crap, dude. And it was like this dude moment, you know. But I had people come up to me. I mean, people who say they listen to this show, which was weird. But a guy came up, Nuno. I'm going with Nuno, Nuno or something. Yeah, he came up and he specifically said, "Dude, I listened to PHPUgly. We hooked him up with some pins and some stickers. I ran out of Lara Chat stickers. I didn't bring enough those, and I actually probably gave out more PHPUgly stickers at LaraCon than I did at PHP Tech. Dude, stop beating a cat. But met a kid there, Dominic. Kid must have been. Were you with me when Dominic approached me, John? He walked up to. What do you think he was, like 13, 14 years old? Younger? No, I hadn't met him before. No. But, this 13, 14-year-old kid who, he was at LaraCon last year. I remember people talking about him. Walked up to me. I guess he listens to one of the shows, Lara Chat or PHPUgly. He's been coming to LaraCon for a couple years now. John, what was the guy's name? Jonathan Wheat, I think is his name, walks up to me, and he's one of those guys I on Twitter all the time. You know, he tweets at me a lot on Twitter, and he just walked. It was funny. He's like, as soon as I saw his face, I knew exactly who the guy was. I mean, I didn't know his name, but I knew his Twitter handle. I'm like, oh yeah, dude, I know you from Twitter, man. And then I got to meet like all these people we've hosted Lara Chat with. Danny, who actually lives in New York. Al, who's another regular on Lara Chat Live. Of course, I got to meet Sean. I got to meet Matt. There were just so many people. TJ Miller was there. We had him on. He's the big Docker guy. I got to meet Freak. No, that would have been awesome, wouldn't it? I got to meet Freak, who has the business Spatty. Spatty? How do you pronounce that? Spatie. Spatty. He does a ton of open source stuff, and he's actually one of the things I was trying to pattern some of the Diego dev stuff off of, the way he was doing a bunch of open source packages for Laravel. But got to meet him. He was super friendly. He was all buddy. Got to meet Bo, who does that podcast. That's another really good one. I mean, there was just so many people, and they were all so approachable. Of course, Taylor. We sat next to Jeffrey Way, which was fun. Jeffrey Way actually joked around with us a little bit. Negative. No. Could not. That would be a big negative there, Thomas. No, I don't, because it's empty. It's empty. That's why he got slammed. God damn it! I drink way too much of that stuff. I wouldn't say it was big news, but yeah, he did introduce him. I mean, Laravel Horizon is, again, you know, if you work a lot with queues, it's going to be beneficial to have. It's definitely a nice to have, but it's not a game changer. It's not like, oh my god, this is awesome. And for the people who don't use queues in their application, it's a non-event. I mean, I don't know about game changer. We're in a use case of it where we wish we had it a couple weeks ago because we were having problems with queues. It would have been nice to monitor it, but how is it a game changer even if you're a big queue person? I don't. I don't know if you get data out of the job, but yes, it. Yeah, it's. I'm looking forward to using it. I'm looking forward to using it. I mean, like I said, we were in a situation about a couple weeks ago where we really could have used this. It was, and we actually wrote some clunky scripts around just monitoring our job queue to make sure the queue wasn't getting hung up. So it's going to be nice to have, and I think there is a niche group that's going to be happy to have it, but it's not like Passport or even what's the other one, the paid one, Spark. It's not like Passport or Spark or any of those that were like, oh, I can actually do something now, and it's just it's a nice to have. It's but why? Don't say the driver. Mm-hmm. Are you? It doesn't. It doesn't just tie into the queue to monitor it. I think. No. I'm curious. Did you read the Medium article on Horizon? The one in the one of the show. Did you notice there's a phone number in there? I wonder if it's his. Go down to the note. It's, Let me see. Area code, what was it? 203? Is that it? I wonder if that's Arkansas. Let me see real fast. If that's Arkansas, 'cause that's where he's at. Area code 203 is North America, Connecticut. Nope, that's not. I mean, it could still be his, but I know he's in Arkansas. So, I don't know. Maybe that's just a temporary number. Yep, I don't know. Yeah. No. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I need to look into it because I really want this. I mean that might not necessarily be a no go for us. I've got to look at the implementation, but yeah. So yeah, and it's running on Laravel 5.5, which requires PHP 7. Oh. That's so. Does it? Where's the? I'm looking at Composer JSON. Composer JSON says it doesn't say. It does say PHP 7.1 actually is what it says. Yep, I don't know. Is that still so? Man, that's from a while. I figured you guys would have talked about that already. What? That can't be right. That seems craziness. Okay, but if I remember correctly, I'm trying to find it. Actually, this looks different than what I saw. Maybe I was looking at something different. Yeah, because this is not what. Because the one I was looking at talked about how. Wait. Maybe it was Fun Facts. Let me see. Let me find it here. Where do you see the ID reference? Oh, you're in PHP specifically. All right. Okay. Well, I was looking at here we go. Notepad is number 3. Really? Really? Notepad There's that. What? Surprised the hell out of me. Surprised the hell out of me. Screw you, man. Screw you, man. No, it's not cheap. So PHP, as far as primary programming language, PHP ranked number 3, which I'm okay with. Number 1 was Java, which isn't a big surprise. JavaScript was number 2, which is, okay, everybody does JavaScript. Whether you're a PHP developer, a Rails developer, a Python, you probably do JavaScript. So JavaScript was number 2. PHP was number 3. Python 4. And then there's a huge drop off. Or well, C# is number whatever number I was next, but yeah, 5. And then there seems to be a pretty significant drop off. It really does, right? No, they really don't. Yeah, I'm going to tell you something right now, though. Speaking from practical experience, first thing, if you're a PHP developer today, in this day and age, and you're good on any level, you should not be looking for work. Because we cannot find really strong PHP developers, and even the not strong PHP developers all seem to be booked. I mean, there's just like the market right now, at least the PHP developer market, man, it seems to be a good space to be in because everybody seems pretty gainfully employed. And the rates that we are getting quoted, the rates we're being quoted are just crazy. It's like, and we run a business and we're constantly being told by clients that our rates are too high, but I know they're not because just going out and talking to developers and finding out what their rates are, it's just crazy. But if you're not going to do PHP development, by God, please do mobile development. There is such a need, and I'm not even talking about native mobile anymore. Get into one of these JavaScript framework mobile development platforms because that market is just absolutely insane. We have so many clients. Every client we have now wants mobile development done. And it's just this mad rush, and there's just not that much talent out there. If you want to make a living coding, writing code, become a PHP developer primary, become a mobile developer, and I can promise you will never go hungry again. Okay, and then well, that's true. Lots of garbage. Really? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know how much stock I put into these stats, but they're always fun to look at. Demographics. What do we got here? Full-time employed by a company or organization, 67%. Really? Freelancers are only make up 6%? What? Self-employed. So what's the difference between a self-employed and a freelancer? If self-employed is 15%, and maybe if self-employed is you're working on your own project, I guess. Maybe you're not taking money from other people. How many people work for a company or an organization? I don't know how to read this one. 14%, 23%. So I'm looking at demographics, and about halfway down it says, for your company or organization. Oh, I see. 2 to 10, 14%. Okay, now that makes sense. Yeah, okay, all right. More than 5,000, 16%. Wow, those are some big companies out there. That seems crazy. What agile software development framework do you use? 32% say none. 51% say Scrum. Huh. Fun numbers. Numbers. Really? Doesn't seem like you. Oh. Do you understand how a crock pot? Yeah, you understand how a crock pot works? It's meant to be a very slow cook. So yeah, why wouldn't you Wi-Fi enable that? Not indefinitely, dude. I've actually tried that. It doesn't work. I heard that those Wi-Fi crockpots map your plumbing. Yeah, doing. All right, what's give give me the scoop on this next card. What's this? Okay. Okay. All right. Bring it back to PHP. Back to PHP. But was it faster? Fascinating. Hey, are we sticking with doom and gloom, or do you want to go back to Laravel talk? Running out of time. Alright, let's go there. Let's go, because I don't... But is it... No, it's we can totally trust them. They're a big company. We can trust them. They have our best intentions in mind. That was weak. I was expecting more out of you on that one. All right, let's go. An addendum. God damn it. I just read your comment. It's like, psych. Right. But don't we already know that iRobot tries to take over the world? Wasn't that what that movie was about? Ah, jeez, I know. It's gonna team up with my microwave and give 3D imagery of the inside of my house. Your microwave was. That's right. That's those are our Terminators. All right. Uh, oh man, I'm so happy to be back talking to you guys. My life feels so much more complete now. Uh, doing great. Doing great. Life is so good. Alright. Okay, anything else? Anything else that we want to talk about? Because we're right at about an hour. That was a rhetorical question, Thomas. God damn. What is your survey? Oh. I mean, I guess the debug stuff would be a big one, yeah. I don't know. Right. A Laravel Collective. That's another thing. Laravel Collective HTML. No mention of the efforts of the Laravel Collective at all in the conference. Period. That's all I'm saying about that. Go ahead. Okay, yeah. So those are all good. What else is on here? You can't even read this one. I need to go to the article here. You know what? You know what I'm becoming a big fan of is the UUID stuff. Is that on here? Freaking UUIDs, man. Those are my new IDs. I'm done using database IDs. Everything is going to be UUID moving forward. That's how I feel about what. Yeah, you don't, do you? Fractal, that makes sense. Fractal is another big one you probably use a lot. This is a good little list, though. Yeah, that's so whenever you want to do a transformer of an API call, so you want to return an API, but you want to kind of change what's the wording of what's being returned. Like maybe you don't want f name John return. You want it to return first _ name. Fractal allows you to do that as a standard and helps you with that transformation. So if you write APIs, you use Fractal, probably. Let's see. The guy's, he's all over the place, man. He's a maniac with his development. Tinker. What's this? You have Jira data tables. Oh, we're using data tables for a client, actually. I'm not using... Right, we're using JavaScript Vue. You're a fork. You're... That's the one I want. So Clockwork I like because that's actually a Chrome. It plugs it integrates into your Chrome inspector, and it doesn't give you that that stuff at the bottom like the other one does. I like Clockwork. That's the one I actually prefer. Laravel 5 log viewer, health monitor. We use that actually. That's Laravel tail. I'll look at a few of these. Yeah. Again, Spatty, Laravel tail, Spat. So many of these is that freak. Is freak man. That dude. That's all he does is write plugins and tools for Laravel. I think he said there's only like 5. No, I don't think so. I could have been wrong. I could be wrong. I've known to be wrong before, but I don't think it was a big company. I think he only had like 5 or... I seem to recall when he said it thinking, we got more developers than he has. Why does he get so many more cool things? We need to raise our rates. He's in Finland. That's hurtful. We got to meet one of... So what was cool is we actually got to meet our newest developer. So John and I onboarded a developer a couple weeks back, and he's been getting up to speed and everything. Got high hopes for the guy. He seems to really be passionate and interested in the work. And then I'm having a conversation with him, and turns out I realize he's going to Laracon. I'm like, dude, this is something that he had planned before we hired him, doing it on his own dime. But I mean, that's where he was in his like development life cycle. He was kind of hungry for this knowledge and kind of going after it. So John and I got to meet him. He lives up in Berkeley, so he's not a local here in San Diego. So we got to meet him in New York. It was cool. Just saying. It's cool things. There were good things that happened out in New York. There were not some great things that happened in New York. Okay. Yeah, it is nuts. All right, anything else? Do you want to talk about? Check now. Check. The least I can do, and I appreciate you two holding down the fort while I was gone, even though you only did one show. It was still one show. I'm proud of you too. Yeah. Yeah. You still do. Yes. We definitely get a lot of tweets. Lots of tweets, when people come up and talk to me, doom and gloom is usually one of the first couple things they say to me. More doom and gloom. Doom and gloom. Oh. I didn't even, All right. Okay. I think that was good, man. It's nice to be back. And I think we'll get back on our normal schedule next week where we'll go back to recording on Thursdays and life will be good. That was very good. That was very smooth. It just it could be like Horizon. We could just talk about it for the next year, and then when it kind of, when we actually announce it, it's kind of like, oh, okay. That's like an iPod Shuffle, really. All right, everybody. I appreciate you tuning back in. Happy to be back on a normal schedule. I'm Eric Van Johnson. Keep it ugly. All right.